Alright, Dave. Alright, Derek. Dave, what do you reckon that Cromwell's chances are of killing himself driving off the cliff? Oh, I'd say around about 100%, Derek. You sure about that, Dave? I am, Derek. You've played this game before, haven't you, Dave? Howdy folks, welcome to another episode of The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, and we're kicking right off with the bad. And there he is in chat, before the game has even started. This utter retard in the AMX-12T is already giving his team shit. Daredevil 14 here in his M12. The unfortunate witness to all of this, the friendly E75 at the very start of the game said, "Sorry guys, I'm stock." And that was all it took to light this AMX-12T's fuse. There he is at the back of the map, and he's gone blue already. One damaging hit on a friendly E75 was all it took for the game to say, "Right son, I've had enough of your shit," and immediately show him a red card. Now keep an eye on the chat window, because it's all about to kick off. To anybody wondering why he turned blue so easily, that is clearly not... There it is in chat. Report my entire team. Oh my god. If anybody's wondering how this idiot turned blue so easily, it's not because he just fired one damaging shot into the back of a friendly E75. That isn't going to turn you blue and label you a team killer. You have to be doing it in every game that you play. So much so that the very next time it happens, the game is sick and tired of giving you chances and immediately shows you the red card and leaves you to the mercy of the rest of your team. And that's what's happened to this guy here. Now, the rest of this game, pretty boring to watch, but the game chat is an absolute winner. It is pure comedy gold. So what we're going to do now is move on to another replay, but we're going to leave the chat running in a separate window. So if for any reason you're not being entertained by the main on-screen action, you can always have a look at that little chat window down there, and I guarantee some comedy. Meanwhile, this is Tiger Cav in his M18 Hellcat. Now, Tiger Cav would be the first person to admit he is not the greatest World of Tanks player in the world. He's an average Joe, just like the overwhelming majority of people sitting down watching this video on YouTube. He's only played a few thousand games. His Hellcat is probably his highest tier vehicle. He is a Joe average player, just like most of you. His Hellcat loadout is overwhelmingly standard armor piercing ammo. He's got a couple of rounds of APCR premium and some backup high explosive just in case he has to absolutely definitely damage somebody in the cap with a lot more armor than he can reliably penetrate with his armor piercing. First target, SU-100, goes for the T-28 and somehow misses. No idea how. Then he spots a Hetzer in the open. Now he does have binocular telescopes, but the Hetzer was clearly being spotted by somebody else and is just outside of his view range, or only popped up when he fired his gun. So he nails the Leopard. The Hetzer pops back up again. He ducks back into cover from flanking fire while he reloads, pops out, kills the Hetzer. 2 kills, good start. Looks around for his next victim. There's a KV-1S, and we've got his flank. Good solid hit on target. Using this wrecked Stug in front of him as cover. Takes another shot, that one misses. Takes his tracks off. KV-1S is going nowhere now. Completely at his mercy. Come on. Let's be having you. And kill number 3. Much more valuable kill. A KV-1S, enemy tier 6 heavy tank. Next target, the T-28, who got away with it earlier, doesn't get away with it twice. 4 kills, but now he's been spotted. And he has a bit of a panicky moment here, trying to get back out of line of fire. And the VK does eventually give him the space to get back, but no incoming fire. So it looks like The T-28 spotted him just before he shot him, but nobody else was in a position to take advantage of it. And this is where he kind of shows his inexperience a little here. Now, the Hellcat's turret does not turn very quickly, but it doesn't help if you're turning the turret in the opposite direction to the way you're turning the hull. And that costs him effective fire at that Wolverine. So, a bit of a schoolboy error there, but it didn't cost him anything more than a shot at a Wolverine. And there does not appear to be any enemy tanks left in the middle. They're all at both flanks. So there's those guys pushing around in the north, and those guys pushing around from the corner of Fail down in the southeastern corner. So, with nothing else to shoot at here, he heads off down to assist against that ARL and VK, and potentially KV-1 as well. Friendly VK3601H up there has definitely gotten himself into more trouble than he can handle. And there's the ARL. And he has the stock turret. Now, there we go, done some damage. There's a VK up there with him as well. Firing did not give his position away. Multiple layers of cover between himself and that ARL. He's got the VK and a Nashorn here with him. So it's a strong defensive line. It's just a question of who's going to blink first. There's the VK. Fires, ducks back into cover. Yep, he was definitely spotted. Takes a hit from the ARL, and again that VK just insists on getting in his way every time he's taking fire. But to his credit, he realises what's going on. He does back off out of the way. Using those rocks there to protect him from the line of fire of the ARL, he sits here patiently waiting for the enemy VK to get bored and poke his nose out. And there he is, and there he goes. Kill number 5. Spotted again, backs off. ARL takes a shot. No chance. We're in cover. And then it all settles down for a bit, and Tiger Cav gets bored of waiting for the ARL to poke out, so he goes looking for the KV-1 instead. But even with his binocular telescopes, he cannot spot that KV-1. He could be pretty much anywhere now. Meanwhile, a short time later, the flak bus starts yelling for help against the enemy AT-2. So Tiger Cav heads off down to support him. The Nashorn is still guarding this flank against the ARL, and potentially the KV-1 as well. The flak bus down there at the approach to the enemy base is a one-shot kill right now, even for an AT-2, and badly needs the support. And then disaster strikes. The KV-1 went back to base. The flak bus puts a good shot into him and then tries to back the hell up. He can see that the cavalry's arriving. He just needs to tempt that KV-1 into coming out. And Tiger Cav ponks up on the corner. There he is. The KV-1's just got too much health. Scores a good hit, but he's never going to reload in time to save the flak bus. KV kills him. KV, of course, has problems of his own now. There's a Hellcat behind him. The 3002D went around the other way, and he's just found the AT-2. Unfortunately for the 3002D, the AT-2 is the best player on the enemy team, and he's going to kick his arse. Tiger Cav, of course, can't get round there to help him without getting shot in the side by this KV-1. So now he's playing chicken around this rock. The 3002D is dead. He's got to kill this guy quick before the AT-2 gets involved. The ARL, by the way, is still camping in the same position. He hasn't moved in all this time. He's still up there in the bushes. Tiger Cav finishes off the KV-1. But now he's gotten himself, while not exactly stuck, he can't take the direct route up into the enemy base to attack the AT-2 because there's a dead KV-1 in the way. And that's more or less the exact moment when the ARL-44 finally makes his move. But that's alright, the ARL's been hit a number of times, he's not fully upgraded, and there's a full health Nashorn still sitting there waiting to give him the good news. Except the Nashorn is AFK. Or he's crashed to desktop. One of the two. This is a patch 9.0 replay from before the hotfix, so it's entirely possible the guy's game crashed. Either way, the ARL just rolls right up to him, shoots him 2 or 3 times, and kills him. So now there's an ARL right at the gate of the friendly base. Tiger Cav decides he's going to kill the AT-2 rather than head immediately back to base and try to head off the ARL. Interesting decision, because if he did turn around and run for base right now, there's no way an AT-2 is going to catch him. But he does decide to take the AT-2 out first. He has 3 rounds of APCR. He loads one, kills the AT-2. And now it's 1v1. He still has 2 rounds of APCR left. He's only used 1, and he is going to save both of these for the ARL. Because you really don't want to bounce when you're on 7 kills, you've got a Bradley Walters medal, and you really need to win this game. Several minutes of cat and mouse later, where first one and then the other starts and stops capping in an effort to lure the other guy out, there's very little time left on the clock. Tiger Cav has come back to his own base to try to find this ARL, hoping that he's lying here in ambush waiting for him to come back. The ARL is going to have to hit him twice to kill him. He doesn't know... There he is! It's going to take 2 shots to kill him. So of course, the premium ammunition bounces. Alright? Frustrating, but he can still do this. They're both 2-shot kills. As long as he gets the first shot off, he can still kill the ARL before the timer runs out. And he bounces. And of course the ARL doesn't. And then guess what? He bounces again. And the ARL kills him with 3 seconds left on the clock. Oh, world of tanks. You so silly. Here's Dominator in the mighty Jagdtiger, Tier 9 German tank destroyer. The original and the best. I'm only saying that because I haven't driven a Waffenträger 4 yet. But soon. So yeah, anyway. Lovely matchmaking. There are only 3 Tier 9s on each team. There are even Tier 7s to farm damage on. Oh, we're going to do well here. The most kills I ever scored in a game of World of Tanks was 12, but that didn't really count because it was in a Tetrock and it was seal clubbing. The next most kills I ever scored in a game of World of Tanks was 10, and it was in a Tier 9 match in the Jagdtiger on Port. It's a map that's no longer in the game. We were 6-10 down and we came back and won with 10 kills. So that was nice. Dominator, can you do better than that? Challenge accepted. First target's up, and they're not too much of a challenge. Oh, that guy's exposed himself. He's going to be sorry. Bang. Okay, there's one. Alright, who's next? There's a T-32 up there, but he is playing it smart. He's only showing his turret front. And the 128mm gun on the Jagdtiger is good. Hell, it's very good. But it's still not a guaranteed penetration on the turret front of a T-32. Unfortunately, our SU-152's sole contribution to this game is to get himself killed in a position where he's actually providing cover for the enemy team. So glad you turned up. So, that was less than optimal, and they've got a Tier 9 heavy up there now as well. Looks like Tiger P, T-32, IS, and the WZ-111. So he's trying for a better position here to make the most use of the limited cover that is here. Unfortunately, that bush is very, very crowded with a Waffenträger 4 here as well. And there really isn't enough space. Not only that, if he fires now, they're going to see him. So he tries to back up so he can fire through the bush without being seen, taking advantage of the other tanks spotting for him. But unfortunately, it just isn't going to happen. The high ground behind him defeats him. He's going to have to take this on the nose. Gets a good hit on the WZ-111. Backs up. Reloads. The IS is vulnerable. Takes him out. There it is. One gun less firing at him. The WZ-111 is rushing him. He's not going to reload. He angles his armour. It doesn't work. WZ-111 puts one through his drive wheel and his side hull. He manages to get his tracks back up, hooks the front of the tank around the WZ-111, finishes him before he can fire again. And that sounded like artillery taking a pot shot and missing, which is always satisfying. Yep, big old smoking crater right behind him. There's nothing more satisfying than being shot at and missed by artillery. And oh, hello, Tiger P. Yeah, you're not feeling so brave without all your friends, are you? And that was actually not the Tiger P, that was a Jagdpanther who blew his tracks off. Oh, there he is. He's just bounced. Alright, adjust fire. Waffenträger? Thank you. So he's got a Tiger P in front of him and a T-32 attempting to work the ridge line. And he has to keep moving because artillery is likely to reload. In fact, artillery just killed the Waffenträger 4. Snipes the commander's hatch of the Tiger P. Such an easy target. Keeps pushing forward. Tiger P bounces. Spots the T-32 aiming at him. T-32 bounces. He misses. Keeps moving forward. Artillery is going to be reloading. Tiger P bounces. T-32, firing from higher ground, is easily able to penetrate his upper glacis. He turns. Finishes off the Tiger P on his flank. Turns again. T-32 sees his chance and rushes him. Penetrates his upper glacis again, and right here is where he screws up. He had the momentum to keep going and get around the side of the Jagdtiger, but instead he panicked, he hesitated, he got his tracks blown off, and that cost him his life. Brave move by the T-32, just couldn't carry it through. Now he's safe from that FV-207 for the moment. He's just fired and missed. He's got a long reload, but he's a good player. And you really do have to treat him with respect. And play as if every time you get spotted, that guy's waiting for you. Especially when you have as little health as this. You're a huge, inviting target for enemy artillery. And you need to play accordingly. Keep an eye on the battle messages. If you know artillery is loaded and is looking for a target, try not to expose yourself until you can see that he's fired. And there's the 5120. No, where'd he go? There he is. And don't hang around and wait for Sixth Sense to tell you have been spotted. If you know artillery is loaded, assume you've been spotted and move. Now, this is less than ideal. The team is scattered all over the map. But there's the Su-152, and he's a one-shot kill. So, naturally, he gets a low damage roll. He gets away on 1 health. Now, this could have been potentially lethal, because you want to just kill the Su-152 and get into artillery cover. You don't want to be hanging around in the open, finishing him off with a second shot. But what's probably happening is that artillery is more concerned about the Tiger II threatening the base. So Dominator gets away with it once again. Of course, it would be absolutely marvellous if that Jagdpanther would get off his arse and do something, but it's difficult to be too critical. He is only tier 7, and he is probably still recovering from the shock of having an AMX 5120 in his face. And to his credit, he does start moving forward. Not too sure about the route he's taking. We know there's a T-32 down at the other end of the town, and he's driving across the middle of an open field, but at the very least we can use him as an enemy tank detector. If he blows up, we know there's something out there, and artillery has, of course, finished off the Tiger II. There's only Dominator and the Jagdpanther left, and you could see there the very accurate fire that the T-32 put through the weak spots on the front of the upper glacis of the Jagdtiger. Some great shooting there from the T-32 driver. Oh! Clutch shot, kills the T-69. T-32's coming around, he's got to get into cover. Meanwhile, the Jagdpanther has, believe it or not, actually turned around and driven all the way back to the back of the map again, so... Oh, artillery missed. T-32 bounced. He's getting no help whatsoever from that Jagdpanther. He may as well just play the rest of this game as if he is the last tank remaining, because to all intents and purposes, he may as well be. Now, the T-32 is a one-shot kill, but so is he. And more importantly, he does not know where that other T-69 is. So instead of charging down the T-32 and potentially exposing his flank to a T-69 who could be anywhere, you notice he keeps checking around, looking for that T-69. The Jagdpanther's moving up again, too little too late. But he's broken contact with the T-32. And instead of sitting in the same location, just waiting to be spotted again, with artillery pre-aimed, he starts backing off, trying to keep all available cover between himself and the last known position of the T-32, and there's the T-69, trying to sneak around his flank. T-32 pops up, penetrates him. Oh my lord, he's on 7 health. T-69's trying to get around him. Jagdpanther just fired. Angle the armour, pray the T-69 isn't using heat. Look at him waggle the armour there, his tracks take it, reload, reload, bounces one from the T-32 as well, kills the T-69, plants this building directly between himself and the T-32, keeping his armour angled, guns reloaded, boom, headshot. Whoa. And artillery misses. The Jagdpanther didn't appear to do anything. The T-32 was on exactly the same health as when we last saw him, so playing as if you're the last one left alive was definitely the right way to go. That was tense as all hell. He's down to his last shot of armour-piercing ammo. After this, it's premium and high explosive only. And now he has to find and kill that artillery. Luckily, he doesn't have to find him himself. That Jagdpanther is just charging straight down into the cap. So when artillery fires at him, he's going to give his position away. And we can, with any luck, get our 11th kill, beat my record, and make it onto YouTube. 11 kills, over 7,000 damage done. Steel wall, should go without saying. Really, really good game, and very, very exciting to watch. That's Dominator in the Jagdtiger. Hope you enjoyed today's video, folks. As always, take care on that battlefield, and I'll catch you next time.